Hey there, this is Sarah with the Notorious Needle, and I'm all about helping you to break the rules of conventional cross stitch so you can make whatever you want. Welcome to the floss tube number 8. I only do these once a month, so I guess this is the 8th month. There is a lot to share with you, and thank you for coming along for the ride. So I want to show you what I've done since the last live that I thought you might enjoy. The first thing that I wanted to talk about was the last live. The audio was total garbage. So I chopped it up into pieces and created a tutorial, and the link to the tutorial is down below. I show you how to make these beautiful potpourri and lace hoop finishes with this faux wood embroidery hoop frame. It's vinyl, and the links are all in the tutorial. I show you exactly the hoops that I used on Amazon because that's where I purchased them. You can also sometimes find them at a craft store in the States. You can find them at Joann's and Michael's, but I really like this hoop finish because it smells really nice. You can put whatever potpourri you want. You've got a pretty lace backing. You can use them for a Christmas ornament, a tree ornament, or even just a regular decoration. And depending on how big they are and how heavy they are, you might want to make them a decoration, but the little ones are really good just for a tree ornament. Give me a shout out and let me know if you can hear me okay. Hopefully the audio is better than last time. My husband, I could be louder. Oh, okay, let's see. Let me know how that is, if that's better. Thanks, Beth. My husband was kind enough to get me an early Christmas present, so I got a new microphone because my last one was like 5 years old and kicked the bucket. So the next thing I wanted to show you was the cross stitch calculator. I created this calculator to help you calculate how much fabric you need for your project. But I upgraded it. So let me show you how to get to it on the website. This is the homepage for Notorious Needle. You can go to tutorials, you can go to the full archive, or you can go to Beyond Stitching. I'm going to go ahead to the full archive. This is all of the posts and tutorials. And here is cross stitch calculator. Just moving that over so I can see. Let me know, Beth, if I'm louder. So the cross stitch calculator is not difficult to use. Let me grab my keyboard. I am working on a project that is, let's see, I think I counted it at 140 stitches high by something like 100 stitches wide, and stitches refers to your pattern chart, like how many from all the way to the left to all the way to the right of your pattern, how many stitches are in there. The fabric count, I'm stitching it on 14 count over 1, and I want, let's see, between my stitches and the frame, I want 2 inches. Beth says yes, a little louder. Okay, good. And then the allowance that goes behind the frame, I'm gonna allow for 3 inches. Paulette says, good morning, Sarah. Good morning. Then you just hit calculate, and it tells you how many inches high you should cut your fabric, how many inches wide, what size tapestry needle is recommended, how many strands of floss for cross stitch, and how many strands for back stitch. Now, of course, this is up to you. It's all about personal preference. Even on 14 count, I might use 2 strands of floss so that I could use the loop start. And then often for back stitch, I might just use 1 strand. It depends on what your pattern calls out for a lot of times. And then below the calculator, you have a definition for each of the fields to help you decide. You can go back and change something. and then hit calculate and it'll recalculate. Or at the bottom, you can hit clear and the whole thing clears and you can start over from scratch. So that is a fun thing. Some folks found the fabric calculator helpful, and I just wanted to add a few tools in there. So if there's anything else that you think you might need to help you get started with your next cross stitch project, let me know and I'll see if I can throw it in that calculator. I cheat and use it sometimes when I just don't want to think about the numbers, you know. Sometimes you just want to get to stitching already, right? Let's see. Ooh, the other thing that I wanted to talk about was the Kitchen Goddess collection, which launched last month on Black Friday. And it was really fun to make. My mom was wonderful and helped test stitch most of the projects so that you know that you're getting a project, you're getting a pattern that makes sense, right? So it launched on Black Friday, and I just wanted to share with you, if you'll indulge me for just 1 minute, the little video that I made to introduce the Kitchen Goddess cross stitch collection. I hope you enjoyed that quick little video. I really enjoyed making it. Just a silly little thing to introduce the collection. Let me know if you have any questions about it. The link is below. The link for everything is below. The potpourri and lace tutorial, the cross stitch calculator, the upgraded version, and the Kitchen Goddess collection. Let's see, what else did I want to tell you about? Oh, okay, so let's start with the FO parade that I promised you. So this is just a bunch of finished cross stitch that I and others in the Notorious Needle Facebook group finished. We'll start with the ladies in the group. So far only ladies submitted, but I wanted to share with you some of what we do. So here we have Beth Field stitched If I Have to Stir It. It's homemade on a kitchen towel. You can see that it's fresh off the hoop, and that is in the Notorious Needle Kitchen Goddess collection. And Jennifer Estes, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, is showing us this beautiful flowery work that she did. The design, she said, was by her husband Nicholas, and the original artwork that he designed it from is by Virginia Stroll, which was her mother. So thank you very much, Beth and Jennifer, for sharing those with us. They're both members of the Notorious Needle Facebook group. That link is also down below if you'd like to join and see what we've been up to with this stitchy goodness. Please answer the questions if you'd like to join. That way I know you're not trying to sell us Bitcoin. It happens. So then I wanted to share with you the finishes that I did this year. You guys, I did a lot of cross stitching this year. I didn't think I would have that much time, but COVID, so here we are. Let's see, I don't have them in chronological order. The first one I'm going to show you is also from the Kitchen Goddess collection, but I can't show you the whole thing because it's a present for a friend, and this person might be watching. But there's this one. 5 stars would eat here again. At the top, I added Blank's kitchen, so I modified it for him, and I hope to frame that soon. I just finished that one, so clearly I'm not going in chronological order, because maybe I'm going in reverse chronological order. Let's see, I'll save that one for last. Oh, this is from the quarantine collection. Let's see, we're more than 45 seconds in, so hopefully YouTube won't mind a curse word. Grandma, cover your eyes. This is Stay the Fuck Home. I had this hanging in the window next to my front door for a while, just to be funny. Now I have it inside the house, so as you walk out the door, this is staring you in the face. But I really like it. I like the flowers and then the stark black font. That's from the quarantine collection. That's also available on the notoriousneedle.com website. Oh, this is one that I test stitched from the Kitchen Goddess collection. Okay, you guys. Now I have to tell you, I showed my grandma, I showed my grandma while I was stitching this, and I had finished the words, and then I was stitching around the words. And you could tell she didn't want to laugh, but she laughed. I made you laugh. She doesn't like all of the ones with the curse words, but this one got her, and my grandpa too. I fuck better than I cook, with a pretty vintage blue polka dot apron. Francine says, "Good morning, Sarah. I'm okay with you swearing." I appreciate that. It's cathartic. I gotta post, maybe I can find it and post it later. There was a study done that people can endure more by using profanity, so I gotta find it because it's legit. Profanity helps us cope, and it's healthier than wine. So that one, I fuck better than I cook, is going. I need to just finish it in the hoop, and it's definitely going in my kitchen. My husband does all the cooking. We'll just leave it there. Ooh, this one is not a Notorious Needle. This one I stitched for myself because I really admire her work. This is Marie La Tuitonette by Peacock and Fig. It's from her new collection, The Versailles Garden. Can you see that? There we go. That is Marie La Tuitonette. So Dana Batho with Peacock and Fig is a legit artist. Like, she draws, she's been doing wallpaper, and these, I believe they originated as watercolor. There's 4 in the collection. I only did Marie La Tuitonette, and it starts off as watercolor, and then she converts it to cross stitch, and you can see it has this like interesting where the outline is outside of the stitches, and that gives it translates that watercolor effect to the project, which I really enjoyed. I'd never stitched anything quite like it. I just love her work. And I don't know if you can see, but I embellished the necklace. That's metallic floss in there, so it sparkles, and then each of the flowers has a little bit of metallic floss in the center in like the darkest part of it. I'm not sure you can really make it out in the video, but in real life it has this really subtle sparkle that I enjoy. So and the colors, the spring colors just really pop, and this is gonna look wonderful in my living room because I have all cool colors in my house. So I chose to stitch this on baby blue 14 count Aida. It's just what is it? Charles, I forget, the DMC brand, whatever that is. That one I stitched for me. Oh, and this is the newest free pattern available on the Notorious Needle. Coffee Because Murder is Illegal. This is a really quick, fun stitch, available free on the Notorious Needle when you join the when you sign up to receive the emails and such. You get access to all the free patterns in the Notorious Nook, plus a 20% off coupon from everything in the store and in the Etsy store if you'd rather shop there. This pattern was to commemorate the YouTube channel reaching 1,000 subscribers. So yay! Thanks guys, I really appreciate it. And here was the free pattern as that I shared with you as a thank you. It only has 3 colors, and you could probably even just use like whatever floss you happen to have on hand. This one's fun. I think I'm gonna gift this one though. I like coffee, but I drink decaf. So I'm not like angry, you know, without my coffee in the morning. I freaking hate mornings anyway. So there it is. Let's see. Oh, the next few are from the Political Therapy collection. They've been retired, but I really enjoyed stitching these. Let's see. Here's another curse word for you, friend. Unfuck America and vote. This is not going to stay in this hoop. It's not the right size. You can see right here. The fabric's a little short. This one I want to frame in a square frame. Maybe in navy blue with like a red matte board or something. But I was just test stitching this for the collection. That one, there's a twin pattern that goes with that one that reads, "This is America and here right matters." And I still believe that that is true. And I believe that we need to work to make sure that that stays true. Okay, next, is 2 little patterns that I did as part of a tutorial to show you how to make a campaign button. So this reads One Man Crime Wave, and this one reads Don the Cotton. So these were intended to be wearables. I stitched these on, this is on 18 count Aida, so the stitches are kind of small. And it's pretty dense, it's a solid covering there, so it took a little bit longer than I thought, but I sure did wear this to the polls when I went and voted. Couldn't help myself, you guys. I got a few looks, but nobody said anything because they're not really allowed to. So yeah, that was fun. And so the last one, I consider this part of the quarantine collection. This pattern reads, I want the D. So I had test stitched this too, but it turns out that I wasn't the only one. So this pattern was created for the October issue of Stitch Life magazine. You can find them at stitchlifemag.com. They put out an issue, I believe it's every 2 months. I do contribute to their Patreon, and I wanted to show you. I got some stitchy goodies a couple of weeks ago, which was fun. But this pattern is only available in the magazine. You can't get this on the website. So stitchlifemag.com. I think I put the link down below. I'll check and make sure. And of course, this is a play on words. The D, you know what I mean? So yeah, and I wanted the D to be donkey because other people were, you know, saying, oh, the D means Donald. No, it's for Democrat. It's for Democrat. So, but the lady who runs the Stitch Life magazine, Dana, she also test stitched it, and she did a brilliant job and decorated it all pretty and threw up a picture in the magazine. So it came out really nice. Let's see, what else? I'm gonna leave those. Oh, I stitched up these also as part of a, it wasn't a tutorial, it was a review, which is available on the website for the Nightmare Before Christmas, Disney's Nightmare Before Christmas cross stitch. So this is the first one I stitched. There were 4 in the little kit that you get. So I was giving a review of the kit, and this is the frame that it came with. I think this frame, if I remember, I measured it, it's 2.5 inches in diameter, which is kind of weird. Most frames are at the inch, for diameter, but and again, this one's kind of dense, so it took a little longer than I thought. And then the back stitch there with Jack and Sally on the hill was a little bit challenging because it was kind of hard to see the book, but if you want to see the tutorial, that's on the website too, and I believe I put the link down below. Here's one with Jack and Sally facing each other, and then this is my hoop, and all I did to turn it black was I wrapped it up in electrical tape. Super easy, and you can do that with washi tape too, and then you can decorate your hoops, and it's like way neater than painting it, because I see a lot of people like to paint their hoops, and I think that it looks brilliant, but I'm lazy. I like the stitching part. I don't always like the framing and finishing part, so I thought, oh, what do I have that's black? That would be easy. Oh, look, let me just steal my husband's electrical tape, and it came out pretty good. And like I said, it was really, really easy. The cool thing about electrical tape is that it's a little stretchy too, so you can like mold it to whatever way you like. That's 2. There were 4. Here's the other 2 from that kit. You have Jack and you have Zero. Jack stitched up really quick. I mean, that was maybe 2 hours. And Zero also stitched up really quick. The back stitch in his nose is kind of small, and the book is a little bit small and hard to read, but they were quick stitches. These will probably also be gifts for a friend of mine who's not really a fan of Christmas but loves Halloween, and so we'll make these into little ornaments. I don't think he'd appreciate the potpourri, so I'll probably just maybe glue some like black felt on the back or something. So I did those this year too. I did a lot of stitching this year. This is probably the first pattern I finished this year. This pattern was originally going to be part of the political therapy collection, but I think it's still available on the website. Now, this one hit a little too close to home. My best friend doesn't like this one. She usually likes my work, but she doesn't like this one. Safety first, 0 days since the last mass shooting. This was inspired by the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting on Valentine's Day a couple of years ago, and I'd had enough, so I created this pattern. It's supposed to look like those posters that you see that, you know, human resources departments have to put up and say, oh, this many days since the last accident or whatever. Because in this country we treat mass shootings like, oh, it's an unpreventable accident, when really it's preventable everywhere but in the United States for some reason. And I'm not opposed to guns, you know, I just am opposed to mass shootings. So anyway, that's where that one came from. It's supposed to look like caution tape at the top and bottom. I don't know. It was good to stitch. Sometimes you just need to stitch something that feels good to stitch even if nobody else likes it. Beth writes, that's a great idea, and you can buy electrical tape in different colors too. Oh yes, about the wrapping on the hoop. Yes, and a duct tape would probably work, but it's a little bit thick, so it might work better on like a bigger hoop. And like I said, washi tape, which comes in all kinds of patterns and colors. Super fun stuff. This one I stitched also as part of a tutorial, which I think I forgot to put the link to that one down below, but you can find it on the website. This is for the Fringe Stitch. It's called Turkey Stitch. And I wanted to make sure that I have a tutorial for every stitch that I use in any of my patterns, so that if you've never done that before, you can just go to the website, watch the tutorial, and get on with it. You know, you don't have to worry about, oh, I don't know how to do that stitch. Well, there will be a link in the pattern to do it. And this turkey stitch tutorial I created so that you could use the turkey stitch to stitch Fabulous Fred, the 3D unicorn, which I also finished this year. One second, he fell. Here he is, fabulous Fred, the 3D cross stitch unicorn. So I used turkey stitch on his mane. I used a variegated embroidery floss, and then also for the tail. And then his body, the rest of his body is just cross stitch, and I used joining stitch to join the seams, and then overcast stitch along the edges, just plastic canvas and embroidery floss, and I used the embroidery floss to cover all of the plastic canvas. So all you get is Fred's fabulousness. I wanted you guys to see Fred one last time because I am entering him into the Florida State Fair. Yay, it's the first time I've ever entered the Florida State Fair. It happens in February, so I will keep you informed. But I filled out the application already. I paid the little application fee, and Fred is getting shipped off to Tampa. And if I can make it to Tampa and take pictures, I will, and I will take you with me. Say goodbye to Fred. Bye, Fred. And the other finishes that I did this year were for Quarantine Christmas. There's 5 Christmas-themed patterns of Christmas characters wearing face masks, because it's been that kind of year, guys, 2020. So hopefully we can do away with these face masks after everybody gets vaccinated next year. Well, everybody who wants to or can. So that's the snowman. Then we have the reindeer. That's 2. And we have Mrs. Claus. She's got, it's hard to see this light. She's got glasses, which came out really cute, which I like. An elf. And then finally, the big man himself, we got Santa Claus. And these are the examples that I use in the potpourri and lace hoop finish. So it's super easy. Potpourri, lace, some kind of lace ribbon, backing fabric, and hot glue gun and hot glue. And it comes out really cute and it smells good. Oh, you know what I forgot to put in the tutorial? I need to add this. The smell, the scent from the potpourri dissipates over time. So what you can do to refresh the scent every year, or whenever you like, if you're using this for something that might hang up on your walls or use all year round. But I primarily use this for holiday finishes because I like the cinnamon scent at the holidays. And you can use essential oils, or you can use like a potpourri spray, and you can just spray it on the back of the hoop. And the lace and the potpourri will absorb the scent and then slowly release it again for the season. So, because you can't refill it, it's locked in there with the hot glue, unfortunately, but oh, it smells so good. The Quarantine Christmas set, it's the 5 patterns. These are being discontinued on December 24th. So get them while you can. But of course, after that, it doesn't make any sense. We only get one Christmas in 2020, so these are a quick stitch. Each one only takes a couple of hours. They're really fun and easy. It's just cross stitch and a tiny, tiny smidgen of back stitch. So let me know what you think of those. I like them. And this is my last finish for the year. I got a little potpourri on my stuff here. This one I started probably 15 years ago. And I just put it down because I was going through a time where I wanted to stitch something not nice for years. I quit stitching for probably about 2 or 3 years after my divorce, and then when I picked it up again, I stitched a lot of swear words, guys. A lot of swear words, like all the swears, which I loved. But I decided to pick this up again because I wanted to finish some things that I started, and with the new house, we hardly have any pictures up in here, so I'm thinking of hanging this up. This is the Dragonfly Fairy by Sam Hawkins. She is stitched on 14 count ivory Aida cloth. She's stitched with regular cotton DMC embroidery floss, some DMC Light Effects metallics floss, and some Krennic metallic. So the border here is all gold metallic. She's coming out really nice. This is the Dragonfly Fairy by designed by Sam Hawkins and published by Jeanette Cruz Designs. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. This is some old stuff from the 90s. Here's the pattern booklet. This is from like circa 1996. Discontinued, but I bought them, I think in like 2000, 2002. I bought these. I bought the whole set. There's a 3-part set. So you have the Dragonfly Fairy, you have the Dewdrop Fairy, which I have stitched already, and then you have the Spiderweb Fairy. The Spiderweb Fairy is cool. Beth says, metallic floss, you are brave and she is beautiful. Thank you. I think she's beautiful too. The metallic's not that hard. I'm thinking of doing a tutorial on the metallic thread. Oh, traffic. Sorry about that. So let me know if you'd like that, if you find that helpful, a tutorial on how to stitch with metallic floss. There's a couple of tricks you can use that make it a lot easier, and DMC have come out with a new line of metallic flosses called Diamant, and they're easier to stitch with, so I was thinking of doing like a comparison between Light Effects and like the Diamond floss, so you could see the difference on how they look when they're completed, and the difference in how they behave while you're stitching, to see if it's hard or easy, which one you might prefer, which one looks better to you, stuff like that. So let me know if you'd find that useful. Go ahead and just stick a comment below and I can make it happen. So the cool thing about these fairies is that they're actually, it's each one, even though it's a 3-part series, each one has 3 parts. You have the fairy and then you have the 2 side pieces. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's called a triptych? A tri-talk? I don't know. There's a word for it when you have 3 like this. And when I frame them, I don't think I'm going to frame them together like this. This is a gorgeously, professionally framed project right here on the cover, but that's probably like $200, so I'll probably try to find matching frames of different sizes. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll get them professionally framed. They take long enough. It'll be worth it, right? By the time I'm done with them, like if I budget, I could probably have the money to frame them. So that is my finished object parade. Let's see. So I'm stitching one of the sides of that Dragonfly Fairy now. And this is what it looks like so far. I was thinking I would stitch a little. What time is it? It's only 11:30, so I was thinking I would stitch a little and we could chat. That could be fun. Not sure where to put my pattern so I could actually see it, because going blind. So this is one of the side pieces that I started, so I still have to do both of the side pieces for that pattern to finish it, but like I said, they come out so beautiful. They're really, I feel like it's worth it. Those patterns are just amazing. There's so much talent there. Hello, there we go. Long enough. So the pattern, I usually stitch 3 strands on 14 count, but the pattern only calls for 2, so I'm just going to do what the pattern calls for. And then most of the back stitch only calls for for one strand. So, I don't know. With the cross stitch calculator, the official back stitch is either 2 or 1, and so with 14 count fabric, so I chose 2 because it's a little bit thicker, it shows up more. But honestly, I usually just use 1 strand, so maybe I should change that. What do you think? When you stitch on 14 count, do you use 2 strands or 3 strands for cross stitch? Do you use 1 strand or 2 strands for back stitch? I want the calculator to reflect reality, not necessarily what you should do, right? It's about what works for us. So I guess let me know. What are you guys working on right now? Do you have any fun cross stitches that you got going on, or do you like to look back at the end of the year and look at all the cross stitches that you finished that year? Like sometimes, oh, I've got the wrong pattern open. Helps if I have the right one open. Thought that looked funny. Sometimes it's nice to look back on the year and see what you've done. So this is the last floss tube of the year for me. So I wanted to look back and see everything that I cross stitched. I didn't realize that I had stitched so much. I always feel like I don't have enough time for cross stitch, which I don't like that feeling. But this year, I mean, we all had a lot of time, right? So I guess I ended up being able to stitch more than I thought, which is nice. Let's see. I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4 down. Let's go 5 down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It is 4 from that one. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully I don't mess up and have to restitch this later, because that would just be a pain in the butt. I don't usually stitch in a frame. I usually stitch in hand. If you've ever watched a live before, I think I say that like every time because I'm just not used to it. Oops. See? Can't even get the first stitch in. I'm having a day, y'all. Beth says I use 2 stitches. I use 2 for stitches because I like the way that it looks on 14 count. I often forget to take a picture of all my work before I give it away. A valid point. And since I've been taking pictures for you and for the website, oops, dropped it. I haven't been signing it. I usually sign my work with my initials and the date in the bottom right hand corner of everything that I stitch. But I haven't been stitching that. I mean, yeah, I haven't been stitching a signature because I don't like the way it looks in the pictures, and I don't think you're gonna like the way it looks in the pictures, and I wanna make sure that it looks the best it can for you. And then I lose track. So that the year in the signature really helps me keep track. So I haven't been keeping track. So I'm just doing the loop start here on the frame from the top, and then when I pull it down, bloop, it pops right under. Loop start on a frame. Let's see, we're gonna do 4 stitches across. Oops, okay. Beth says I often forget to take a picture. Oh yes, I read that already. Yeah, you know, maybe we should maybe there could be like well, I guess there already are like photography blog formats where you can keep a gallery and then you can just take a picture and stick it in your gallery and have that forever. But you know, it just looks better in real life. It doesn't ever look as good in the pictures. I mean, especially the metallics or the specialty threads, you don't always see in the camera the detail and the work and the shine or the shimmer, which I'm all about that shiny stuff, as my husband will tell you. And the camera doesn't often pick up all of that, at least not to my satisfaction. Maybe like a super duper close up. Well, I'm not going to be able to do that today. So yeah, maybe create a gallery I bet there's really easy website themes that offer that sort of thing. It would probably be like a photographer's gallery type blog format. So that could be cool. Oh, so I also wanted to ask you all, as I got a lot going on in my mind, I want to create all kinds of fun stuff for you. But I often have like a million ideas going at once. Let's see, where did this come out of? So I never know what you want to do, because I want to do what you want to do. So I have 2 ideas for patterns going forward that I'm thinking about doing next. And let me know in the comments which of these you think you might like to see first. I'll probably also do like a poll in the Facebook group. So if you want, you can join the Facebook group and vote on that poll. I'll try and put that up as soon as we're done with the live here. So the 2 options are, the first one would be to continue with the kitchen goddess style projects, right? So it would be like those, like a home sweet home type deal. I don't really do samplers, but the snarky phrases, but for different rooms in the house, you know? I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you could stitch in the bedroom, right? That's just low-hanging fruit right there. But, you know, there's also the bathroom. I guess some of the kitchen stuff could also be in the dining room, so maybe I won't do that. Or like general home sweet home stuff, but snarky, like funny. So that's option number 1, like continuing along the same vein as the Kitchen Goddess collection, which I'll probably do eventually anyways. The other option is to try a stitch along. So if you don't know what a stitch along is, it's this would be a mystery sal. So what happens is you get an idea of the basic outline of the project, and maybe like there might actually be like a border that you stitch, and that way you know how big to cut your fabric or whatever. And then you're given a piece of the project over intervals of time. Could be a week, 2 weeks, a month, until the last piece is released and you get the finished project, but you don't quite know what it's going to look like until it's done. So that's the mystery sal. And what makes it a stitch along is that we're all in it together. Like we're all stitching together. It would probably be run through the Facebook group, and you could talk to other stitchers who are stitching the same thing as you, which is a lot of fun. You know, there's a lot of camaraderie there. You can form friendships. It's a hoot. Everyone does something different. Like the stitch alongs that I've done in the past, I didn't run them, but the ones that I participated in the past, every person stitched it a little bit different. Like lots of people don't follow the pattern exactly, which is amazing. You get the most beautiful, varied ideas. It's really inspirational for like the next thing you want to stitch, especially if you create your own patterns. That would be the option number 2, would be a stitch along. But the idea that I have a stitch along for the stitch along is a little bit more on like the political therapy side. It's not us versus them or anything like that. It would be like inclusive themes. But a lot of people find those themes political. But I've never run a stitch along, so I thought it would be fun and a good learning experience for me, but I thought it might be a fun experience for you. So let me know which you would prefer to see next. If you would prefer to go along the home sweet fucking home type style patterns with like maybe another collection, or if you would rather try the first Notorious Needle snarky stitch along. Let me know what you think you'd like to see. And because I am already running with a few ideas, but I want to get your input before I go too far and finalize anything, because I want to do what you want to do. Let's see, where are we? We're at 11:45 here in sunny South Florida. Not quite sunny. What do we talk about when we got nothing to talk about? The weather. But you guys, Florida's beautiful right now. Oh, I got a little knot down here. Florida is beautiful right now. It's a little bit rainy, but it's been really beautiful, for lack of a better word. Let's say that one more time, beautiful. The temperature has been, at night, it's been like in the upper 40s and lower 50s Fahrenheit, which is gorgeous. Because when it gets cold in Florida, well, that's not cold, right? That's chilly. But when it gets chilly here, the humidity drops to close to 0. And it only lasts for like a week, right? So everybody runs out in their flip-flops and hoodies. And we all try to spend some time outside while the weather's nice. There's no clouds, like humidity is 0. There's no clouds in the sky. Like that is why we live here, because 6 months out of the year we have hurricane season and rainy season, but it lasts, I don't know, how long would you say it lasts if you live in Florida? I would say it's a good 4 or 5 months where you get like waves of cold fronts. So it'll be really stormy one day, and then the next day it's like, oh, the sky, the clouds dissipate, and it's a perfectly blue sky, and the weather is gorgeous, and everybody's outside walking their dogs or jogging down the street or whatever, and that's like a little bit cold, and then it gradually gets warmer and warmer for like, I don't know, the next 5 days or so, until you're back up in the 80s Fahrenheit, and you're back at like 60, 70, 80% humidity, sometimes 100% humidity, which is just sticky until the next cold front sweeps through. And so we get back-to-back cold fronts every week or every other week for like 4 months out of the year, and it's just nice. I love this weather. Like, I would rather be outside. Did I get the knot out? No, I still have this knot. Oh, it's because I'm talking to you and I'm not really paying attention to what I'm doing. Talking and stitching at the same time, especially when you're trying to like make eye contact and not stare at what you're doing. Not the easiest thing in the world, it turns out. I think I'm gonna have to do this knot later because I think I'm just making it tighter. Oh, that could be bad. And then what? I'll end up cutting it, finishing it. Let's see, maybe I can bring it to the front here. Nope, not coming through. Okay, well, I'm gonna go take care of that knot. Let me see, did I want to leave you with anything? Oh, yes, some cool stuff. So, if you know someone stitchy, or, you know, for yourself, there is a post from last Christmas that I think would still be very applicable today. It's called 10 cross-stitcher gifts they won't already have. And it looks something like this on the website. I think I also put the link to that down below in the description. So you can click in the doobly-doo below, and it's like unique ideas for cross-stitchers, right? Because we tend to buy the stuff. I mean, it's fun, it's interesting. We like the new toys, anything that will help us stitch faster or like be more comfortable while we're sitting down, anything like that. So it's hard to buy us gifts that we haven't already bought for ourselves, but I guarantee there will be something in that list that your favorite stitcher doesn't have yet. So check that out. If you're a little bit stumped on what to get, that could help you. And then the other thing is, I found this super nerdy thing. Now, if you're in the Facebook group, you've already seen this, because I like to share nerdy stuff in there sometimes. But this is what it looks like. This is what a threaded needle looks like under an electron microscope. Ta-da! That is some crazy chaos, my friend. Like, you look at that and you go, well, no wonder why it's so hard to thread a needle sometimes, because that thread is ornery. Look at that. Like, that's... How does that even happen? This was shared by a group called Artists, Artwork on Facebook. And I also put the link to that particular post down below so you can find it where it was originally posted. They have a lot of fun artwork. It's mostly visual arts, like drawings and paintings and stuff, but it's really interesting, and every once in a while they'll post something nerdy like that. I just thought it was fascinating, and I wanted to share it with you. Like I said, I share stuff like that in the Facebook group too, so if you're not in there, why not? Join us in there for some stitchy goodness. I'm going to sign off for this Saturday. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Please stay safe and continue to wear your masks. Hopefully those vaccines are coming soon and we can all resume what looked like normal life for the most part very soon. And it's Hanukkah, so happy Hanukkah and Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, blessed Yule, and happy holidays. And I will see you all later. Stitch on!